Okay, hello everybody. I've had a whopping 2 people ask me about what the heck a Dutch baby is and how you make it and why I love them so much. So I wanted to show everybody how to make it because it's really easy. So step 1 is going to be gather the ingredients. A half a cup of flour, half a cup of milk. I'm using whole milk, but anything works. 3 eggs. We're going to use some sugar, a little vanilla, some lemon juice, 3 tablespoons of butter, split into 1 and then 2, and a whole lot of love. And on top of these, mostly pantry ingredients, we will need a cast iron skillet, really any size will work, a bowl, and a whisk. Step 2 will be, rolling up our sleeves. And step 3 is really simple. We're just going to take a half a cup of flour, a half a cup of, I'm using whole milk, 3 eggs, just a nice pinch of salt, touch of lemon juice, because everything needs a little bit of acid to set apart the sweetness and just the general pancakiness, a little bit of vanilla, and like a tablespoon of sugar. And it's real easy. Once this is getting ready and starting to come together as a batter, if you need to add a little more flour, just add it a pinch at a time until you get a little bit runnier than regular pancake batter is. And you don't want to overmix it. If there's some lumps, that's okay, because you don't want to build up those glutens per, Alton Brown. Over whisking is never a good thing. You melt the other 1 tablespoon of butter, and then you mix that in as well. And you just gently mix that in there because you don't want to overmix your batter. But it's just going to be a little extra butter. It's going to make it a little richer and a little more pancakey. And we're going to throw 2 of our 3 tablespoons of butter into a cast iron skillet and then put it into our preheated 425 degree oven, and then your glasses are going to get all foggy. And I'm going to say that once we swirl it around, I'm going to call that good. So the reason we put this in the oven is so that we get a little bit of crust while it's baking. Yeah, you just dump it in to the pan, get like as much as you can out of there. You don't have to like scrape it down because you want to keep the heat that's going on in this pan. And it is going to look like this, with a little bit of butter floating on top. And you throw it back in the 425 degree oven for 20 minutes. So, while we're waiting the 20 minutes for the Dutch baby to cook in the oven, which is going to be oh so delicious, I cannot wait, I wanted to go over something that was pretty important, pretty big. 3 of the largest U.S. drug distribution companies and 1 manufacturer came to a settlement for $260 million that they're going to be paying to both Summit and Cuyahoga County, which from the people I've been speaking with, it's a lot of money. Seems like it's going to be really good. They're really hoping it bankrupts these companies. And the prosecutor that is working for the counties, Paul Farrell Jr., was quoted as saying, "We were not going to accept any amount of money that didn't make a difference." And that was from NPR, which, again, $260 million is a lot of money. But that $260 million is actually pledged by the distribution companies for $215 million. And then those companies are Amerisource Bergen, Cardinal Health, and McKesson. Now, Teva Manufacturing pledged $20 million in cash and $25 million in a drug called Suboxone, which is a drug they use in treatment for people trying to kick their heroin addiction. Now, in this settlement, the companies are claiming no admission of wrongdoing, and this was supposed to be the first federal trial that's ever happened regarding the opioid epidemic in America, which affects me personally. I know a lot of my friends, family. I'm assuming everyone in Ohio. That's why they're doing Cuyahoga and Summit County as the two first counties. So much so that there's been 250,000 overdoses in the last 20 years. And according to the CDC right now, 130 people are dying a day. Sorry. God. It's fucking terrible, man. So many people. Now these numbers are from the CDC. And again, the $260 million sounds like a lot of money to you and me, not in regular people. Now you have to keep in mind that we initially asked, as the two counties, we asked for $8 billion with a B, $8 billion. Now mind you, this settlement, it happened shortly before midnight on Sunday. Now keep in mind that this settlement was literally at the last minute, like 10, 20 minutes before midnight on Sunday. Before this, again, the first federal trial of this epidemic in America was supposed to be happening. Shortly before midnight is what they said. Now, Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, and Rite Aid are excluded from this. They're kind of getting lumped in to a different trial that's supposed to be happening sometime next year. There are currently 3,000 federal lawsuits that were made by different city, county, and tribal council filings, and they're hoping for a settlement because it costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. It's exhausting. You have to go into court every day and stare people in the face that basically made hundreds of billions of dollars a quarter off of killing your family. Now, these 3,000 lawsuits are being lumped into one called the National Prescription Opiate Litigation, which means that whatever sort of settlement these giant corporations end up making with these exhausted, beaten down people, they're going to accept it. Hundreds of millions of dollars is a lot of money. They're just throwing it around because it's not a lot of money, especially when you combine these companies. I mean, Walmart, everyone knows how big Walmart is. Walgreens is giant. CVS is huge. And these people were supposed to be reporting giant orders that they were making for these drugs by doctors, people that they trusted, people when they were in pain, things that normally happen from work. They went to their doctor. They said, what do I do? My back hurts, my knees hurt, my ankles, whatever it may be, hurts. And they just went, okay, I'm going to prescribe you this because that's what I'm prescribing everybody right now. This is awful. This is literally being called an epidemic by the Center for Disease Control. This is not something that a little bit of money is going to fix. This is something that we need to put these corporations out of business for. In the beginning, I very poorly mentioned that this was being called a bellwether federal case against these giant corporations. Bellwether, as it's being used, is supposed to be meant as an indicator or predictor of something. But the second definition that I found, which I think makes a little more sense in this case, is the leading sheep of a flock with a bell on its neck. And I can't think of a better definition of this word in this case. Yeah, we'll see what actually happens once these cases go to federal court and things get changed in the back ends, because negotiations are still happening from what I have been reading. So we'll see. I hope that we aren't sheep. I hope that we as a people can actually believe in ourselves, because we can stand up, we can make a difference, and we need to be the ones that are standing up to these people making billions of dollars off of us carrying our friends and our families at funerals to get buried, which happens a lot. Thank you for listening. But now let's get back to checking on what's gonna be a delicious oven-baked pancake with, like I said, has like 5 or 6 ingredients that most people just have in their refrigerator and their pantry. See, it's delicious looking. So we are going to go ahead and leave it in there, kill the heat for about 5 minutes. And it's just gonna crunch up the outsides, continue cooking all of that butter that was on top into it. Oh man, oh man. That looks amazing, and it's pretty heavy. So this, gosh darn it, that smells so good. This is what it'll look like. And you want all those crispy, awesome little bits. You'll see the little bit of butter that's, gosh darn it, bubbling up there and looking real nice. And then all we're gonna do to finish it is take a little confectioner sugar. And by little, I mean literally as much as you want. I'm showing one like heaping giant tablespoon, but I'm probably gonna end up just like throwing 2. Get messy with it, get all those weird nooks and crannies, and by weird, I mean delicious. And there you have it, is a Dutch baby. Hope you enjoy.